Good afternoon. This is Gil Cedillo, the Housing Committee, Wednesday, January 24th, 2018, room 1010, City Hall, Los Angeles. It is 3:04 p.m. I am joined by my colleagues, Mr. Krikorian, council member from the Valley, and Mr. Harris Dawson, council member from the Mid-City and South. We have three speakers, general public comment, and 2 minutes each for additional items. It'll be 3 minutes each. We will combine those and dispense with the public comment.
Call the speakers, please.
Yes. Bill E. Goat.
So yes, thank you so much, Bill E. Goat. See, unlike Mr. Krikorian, the chair here calls the cards pursuant to the Brown Act correctly. Now, when you search the databases, how many claims has Mr. Spindler filed against Mr. Cedillo? 0! See, stupid? So now we get to block grants from the state of California Department of Services. What kind of services? Community investment. The problem is, like Paul Krikorian, I'm a goat. I don't know shit about investments. If I want to know about investments, I call Schwab. Or I call somebody at B of A at Merrill Lynch. So fuck number one, yes. Now we get to number two. Number two is what? The Housing and Community Investment Department report. Oh, this is very important. It's the Urban Futures Bond Administration incorporating the continuation of tenant occupancy monitoring. Translation? They want to make sure that you're not tearing down rent-controlled apartments too fast. Yes. Now, you look in the 8th district, you still have rental control. You look in the 1st district, you have some of it. But you look in the Valley, in the 2nd district, there isn't shit available for less than $2,000 a month. Yes, I looked. I wanted an apartment in Studio City to be closer to my fellow goats. Yes. Then we have number 3, the mini 12-step house capital improvement fund. This is for people on a fucking 12-step program to get off of narcotics. Like Councilman Bonin, who was just here a couple of hours ago, throwing me out without a warning. Don't take drugs. You know, like the commercial, this is your brain, and then you put it in the egg, and then the egg in the fucking frying pan. This is your brain on drugs. No, it's Mike Bonin on drugs, yes. And so we want to know how many mini 12 steps are in the 12-step program to get off of drugs. In the 8th district, we still call it shit. In the 2nd district, we call it drugs. In the 1st district, we call it marijuana. Yes. So we want to know how many people are going to be housed. How many people are going to be homeless? We don't know. But this is the Housing Community Investment Corporation. And finally, on behalf of everybody, fuck Paul Krikorian. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I believe you also have 2 other speakers who also get 3 minutes.
Yes,
Will you call them, please?
Herman.
So how do we deal with state of California's community service? How do we deal with investments? Well, we definitely can't go through the city of Los Angeles because as a local entity, it has abused, waste, and fraud. And likely there's some embezzlement going on where certain criteria of housing is slashed, mixed use, taken away from the public who are in dire need of housing. Now, I'm not saying that you actually got caught stealing it, but I know if I worked and lived in the 8th district, I'd be known for stealing, because niggas are always wrong. And then you go into item 2, Mr. Dawson, rent control. You know what it's like, bro, being under rent control with Section 8? Dumb motherfuckers can't find a place to live. So what do, y'all? We go out on the street and trash our neighborhood, nigga. That's what we do, because we don't have a place to live. And education ain't finding its way to our door, so what the fuck we think we're gonna do? Proposition 64, necessity for convenience in liquor stores at the nearest market or corner store. That's what you do to it, Marquise. I thought you were cool, bro. I thought you were cool. But in the eyes of the Latino minority, such as myself, I know you're a goddamn fool. You could do better than that. Stop falling into the game. This game I'm talking about is stealing, corruption, abuse, fraud, lie after lie. Now, if this nigga up here speaking were wrong, I'd be thrown out of the public meeting right now. But you all know what I'm talking about. I'm referring to Los Angeles housing and community investment. No fucking shit. Doesn't exist. Now my general public comment. Likely said this morning my rights, my civil liberties were violated because I was removed from a public meeting. And why was that? Because the public safety chair finds it offensive to call the little bitch that carries a little sidearm on his leg and threatens people when he comes to meetings. Now, I'm not the pussy wearing a little sidearm on my ankle calling myself a policeman when you're a phony baloney reserve cop, Mitchell Englander, for the record. And this morning, while I was in the city clerk's filing my discrimination under the Bain Act for intimidation and threat, I'm just going to use that enforcement against Paul Krikorian when the DOJ investigates his issues with me, because I just recently sent my 2-page report along with additional information to do an inquiry about Paul Krikorian under the DOJ. Thank you, Paul. Thank you all.
You have one last speaker.
Patricia McAllister.
Patricia McAllister, teacher. Now, here's the deal. Number 2, the Los Angeles Housing Community Investment. This Urban Futures Bond Administration Company, I did some research on your website, and you gave them $950,000. Okay, now, affordable housing for affordable housing monitoring services. I can tell you firsthand, the GLOW, 1050 Wilshire, right on Wilshire 1050. Beautiful, built from the ground. I was the first to get in. Matter of fact, they hadn't even finished it. Got in $750, affordable. I was teaching at the time, and I qualified. Now, about a year and a half later, they notified, it was about 7 of us, 7 families. They notified us that we had to pay market rent. We had to leave or pay market rent, which was about $2,300. Well, you know me, I wasn't going down like that. I came to City Hall, wrote everything, told them what they were doing over there. You know what you told me? We don't know anything about it. So I took them to court, and judge told them, you better settle, Mr. McAllister, if you know what you're doing. And they settled, and I got what I wanted. I left because I didn't want to be intimidated, because I had won anyway. But anyway, this is what you're doing. You're not monitoring a darn thing. You're paying these people $950,000 to monitor. You're not monitoring nothing. If you go over there and look at the GLOW, it's filthy. All around the building is filthy. Before I even left, roaches and everything. You're not monitoring a darn thing. And I believe you're getting money under the table. Now, here's another thing. Number 3. Here, it don't take 3 years to fix up something, okay? 3 years, the grant was $2,137,000. That was in 2015, and here you claim it's going to be done in 2018, and then you say here it won't be done even in 2018, and you need some more money. You guys need to quit it. This is a women's substance abuse. I did the research. I don't come in here. I come in here with receipts. I did the research. You guys are, I'm telling you, you don't even know how to be slick, okay? But they're going to come and get you. The government's going to come and get you. Trump them, we're coming. I say we because I'm going to be right there. Now, here's another thing. This is my public comment. These illegal aliens, we need to stop all housing development at this moment. No more building of affordable housing because illegal aliens dominate this city. If you want to know who lives in the city, you go and find out the race of the children in the school. 80 out of 100 students in LAUSD alone are Hispanic, Latino, and Asian. Okay, that's why we got black and white in these tents. And let me tell you something, they spreading this, and people from out of town, it's all over the web. They're coming to Los Angeles, taking pictures, interviewing the homeless. They said they didn't know this was going on in LA. People don't know because, you know, the Jews run the media. Now here's another thing. These Jews, they're not slick. They claim they want some protection. The word is out. There's no protection for them. You're not going to protect them. Okay, they better get up off their rear ends and stop all of this ripping off this city. All of you going to prison.
That closes public comment, Mr. Chair. Do you wish to go to item 1?
Thank you. You want to call item 1?
Item number 1, City Administrative Officer and Los Angeles Housing and Community Investment Department's report relative to a request for approval to accept the 2018 Community Services Block Grant Award from the State of California Department of Community Services and Development and related actions.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Isaiah Smith from the CAO's office. This item before you is a transmittal to accept the 2018 Community Services Block Grant, the Fund Support Program and administrative costs for the city's Family Source Center system. The office concurs with HCID's request to accept the CSBG Block Grant. The CAO also recommends amending HCID's recommendation 2A subsections 2 and 3 to also be subject to the review and approval of the city attorney as to form and legality. I'm available for any questions as well as staff from HCID. Thank you.
Gentlemen? Move the item. Okay. Move to adopt the CAO report. Second. Second. So be the order. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, do you wish to take item 2 now?
We do.
Item number 2, Los Angeles Housing and Community Investment Department report and City Administrative Officer to report relative to a request for authority to execute the First Amendment to contract number C-129186 with Urban Futures Bond Administration Incorporated for the continuation of tenant occupancy monitoring services.
Sir.
Once again, Isaiah Smith, the CAO's office. The item before you is a transmittal to execute a First Amendment to a contract with Urban Futures Bond Administration. This is for the continued provision of tenant occupancy monitoring, servicing the city's affordable housing inventory. The City Administrator's Office makes the following recommendation: that the Council, subject to the approval of the Mayor, adopt the recommendations of the Housing and Community Investment Department transmittal, dated November 20th, 2017, relative to the continuation of tenant occupancy monitoring services with Urban Futures Bond Administration Incorporated. There will be no impact to the city's general fund. I'm available for questions as well as staff from HCID. Thank you.
Questions? Move the item. Move the item. Second. So be the order. Thank you.
Item 3?
Item number 3 is motion, Price Rue, relative to the extension of the contract between the city and JWCH Incorporated for the mini 12-step house capital improvement project from January 31st, 2018 to December 31st, 2018.
Good afternoon, council members. Abigail Marquez with the Housing and Community Investment Department. This is a neighborhood improvement fund project that received $250,000 under the Community Development Block Grant Program. The agency is requesting an extension in order to complete the project that was funded under the program design. They are anticipating to be completed with this project in June of 2018.
Okay. Any questions?
Move the item. Second.
The item second, so be the order. Thank you.
There are no other matters pending before the committee. Do you wish to adjourn?
Thank you.